Hello and welcome back to the Southampton International Boat Show 2022, and today we're having an interview with Hallberg Rassy and their agent in the UK, Transworld Yachts. Hello, and we're on Hallberg Rassy50 here at the boat show with Jeremy Mason, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the range of boats that Hallberg Rassy now offer. Hi Jeremy.
Hi.
So what boat are we on at the present time?
This is a Hallberg Rassy50.
Okay, and how does that fit into the range?
Well, we've always produced a full range of boats. So we produce a range of boats from 34 feet up to 69 feet. And the 50 is in the sort of the mid-range for the classic cruising, offshore cruising boat for the boats that we produce. And all the boats that we produce are intended as offshore cruising boats. And
they're been quite a classic range, hasn't it, over the years? How long has Hallberg Rassy been producing boats?
Well, Hallberg Rassy have had their 75th anniversary a few years ago now, actually. So they've been producing boats for a long time on the west coast of Sweden. And the current series of boats that you see with the blue lines, the first ones were produced in the mid-70s, shall we say. Yeah.
And it's been a long development of the actual design. It's a little bit like buying a BMW 3 Series. You know, if you buy the one before, you can't tell the difference between the latest one. So what is the sort of philosophy for the design and bringing these boats up into the 2020s?
The philosophy has always been to build an offshore cruising boat, a boat that's intended for adventurous sailors who intend to do a bit more offshore sailing and passage making. That was the design concept at the outset, and it's remained that way. So the range has been gradually evolved into what we see today.
And you've made the sterns a lot blunter, and the bows a lot blunter as well. So I guess that's giving you a greater waterline length.
Yeah.
And also it seems to have opened up quite a lot at the back, the boat.
Yes, I mean the current designs are intended to improve. I mean it's important for an offshore cruising boat to be able to make passage to windward in heavy weather in reasonable comfort. So we have a relatively deep forefoot, relatively rounded centre sections to the hull, but long distance passage making sailing almost inevitably aims to try and do more off-wind sailing or downwind sailing, and inevitably more light wind sailing. And so for that we've got a flatter planing section further aft aft of the keel, which gives you a much wider stern further aft. And as you say, the more upright stern and the more upright stem mean that you have an optimised waterline length. So a boat that's around about 15 metres overall has a waterline length of just a shade under 14 metres.
And you've kept the centre cockpit on many of your designs. I know you do some aft cockpits as well, but the centre cockpit is still current.
I think the centre cockpit design works really well for short-handed sailing. It puts the helmsman close to all of the controls that he needs on deck. It also puts him quite close to the chart table, to the galley, all the important areas that you need. If you're sailing with a single person on watch in the cockpit, you want everything to be close to hand, and so centre cockpit works well for that.
And how many boats do Hallberg Rassy produce per annum?
Well, it does depend very much on the size of the boats that are being built. When you build a range of boats from 34 feet to 69 feet, I suspect you can build somewhere in the region of 14 Hallberg Rassy 34s in the space of building one Hallberg Rassy 57. So it does depend very much on the sizes that are being built. I would imagine the yard will be turning out certainly more than one boat a week. Yeah. Over the course of next year.
And is there anything new and exciting coming up in the Hallberg Rassy range which you could tell us?
Well, the exciting thing is the 69, which has only just been announced, and it's going to be the biggest boat that we've built so far. It's going to replace the 64, and what it's going to do really is incorporate all of the current hull design in the current generation of hull design into our flagship boat.
And so for the average sort of cruising guy who buys a boat to go off deep blue sea sailing rather, it tends to be around about the 45 footer that most people choose, probably because there's a light crew on board.
Yeah.
And what sort of cost would one of those be?
Well, our 44 is probably the most popular boat that our offshore cruisers are buying, and typically that's going to be people who have finished their working life. It's a husband and wife, and they're planning to perhaps do an Atlantic circuit, maybe sail further afield. And a 44 is the right sort of size to enable them to have the comforts that you might want, but still for a husband and wife to be able to handle the boat in most circumstances. And we aim for the boat to be fully controlled, sails set, reefed, trimmed and furled away from the helm position, so one person can handle the sail area. And a 44 in a reasonable cruising spec in today is going to be somewhere around the £600,000 mark, that sort of area, to a sail away specification.
Certainly, looking at this boat, the finish on it is absolutely stunning inside. I mean, you can tell this is a mark-up on the sort of average production boats, with the woodwork and the trim and everything like that. So it's fantastic, absolutely lovely. Well, we wish you the best of luck, and thank you for telling us all about the Hallberg Rassy range.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
So we have just been on the Hallberg Rassy50. What a boat!
Oh, absolutely lovely. And you can see that they've got that quality, that Swedish quality in the woodwork and the finish and the joinery. Absolutely beautiful. And as a 50-foot boat, yeah, it is a big boat. And the accommodation is all there. You've got your sofa and you've got your chairs. And really, it's just lovely.
Yeah, and for a monohull, the engine room is amazing.
Amazing, yeah. You've got everything in that room down there. It's all in one place, and it's deep down in the bottom of the boat as well, so that you've got the weight lower down. And also, this one's fitted with a carbon fibre mast, and though it only saves around 200 kilos, it does actually reduce the weight, which is up high, and bring it down. So you're getting a much stiffer boat, a boat which is going to cut through these waves, and yeah, go to windward. That's something that we don't do, isn't it? I'd imagine it's a really great fun to sail, and I'm really taken by it. Yeah, I'd have one.
Okay,
yeah,
tomorrow.